The Rams began and ended the 1975 season against the Dallas Cowboys. The opener in Dallas was a montage of jarring collision and rattling impact. In the end, the surprisingly strong Cowboys took victory, 18-7.
Plagued by an inconsistent offense, the Los Angeles Rams have failed thus far to live up to their expected role as the West Coast Supermen. And in Candlestick Park last Sunday, the San Francisco 49ers revealed just how human the Rams can be. The 49ers surprised the favored Rams early by scoring 2 second-quarter touchdowns, one on a Norm Snead to wide receiver Gene Washington Beauty. The ease of the San Francisco scores were surprising indeed, for both came against a Ram defense which, like the Redskins, has a habit of bombarding opponents with constant pressure until the desired broken play, hard hit, or turnover is accomplished. Both defense and special teams possess the ability to force mistakes, then make their own efforts pay off with points. Number 28, Monty Jackson's touchdown return of a block punt rallied the Rams to within 1 point of the 49ers. And when quarterback James Harris finally uncranked the LA offense in the fourth quarter, the blue and gold was at last heading down victory's road. Harris maneuvered his club to a 10-point final quarter, clinching a 23-14 triumph on his first touchdown pass of the season to number 30 Lawrence McCutcheon. While the Redskins' convincing triumph was expected, the Rams' shaky beginning was not. However, in the NFC West, the Rams have the only win, and their divisional crown still appears quite safe.
Despite the season's premature ending, both the Los Angeles players and their great fans enjoyed the fruits of a sensational year. Shaking off the effects of their opening day loss, the Rams stormed the city by the bay and shivered and shocked the 49ers offense. With help from players like number 32 Cullen Bryant, Los Angeles bonsai'd the end zone for 23 points while holding San Francisco to 14. The winning had begun, and no one contributed more than the special teams and Tom Dempsey, whose 3 field goals included a club record-tying 51-yarder. But the most inspirational play of the day was Bill Simpson's block punt, which number 28 Monty Jackson turned into a key Rams touchdown. It was symbolic of the hell-bent-for-leather heads-up play of special team members, like punter Dwayne Carroll, who kicking coach Ed Alsman watched improve as the season progressed.
Pass protection would also play a vital role in the Los Angeles Coliseum, where an improving Baltimore Colt offensive line spared quarterback Burt Jones the anguish and pain generally associated with the powerful Ram pass rush. Jones stood tall in that pocket while delivering 2 scoring strikes, one to his setback Bill Oles, number 38. The Colts, whose rebuilding program seems at last to be paying off with young, quality talent, feature a host of genuine hitmen on the defense. And for at least the first half last week, Rambacks saw more than they cared to of the energetic Colt defenders. But as well as Baltimore played, the experience and poise of the veteran Ram offensive line was just too tough to overcome. And paced by solid blocks by Cowan, Max Saul, Shabelli, and Williams, L.A. came back and marched past the Colts. Number 30, Lawrence McCutcheon, breezed in for one Ram score, while quarterback James Harris took a loftier route to the end zone for 2 more Ram touchdowns. Harris nailed number 29, Harold Jackson, for his first scoring shot, then iced the win with a pretty toss and catch to speedster Ron Jesse, number 81. Jesse's classy catch climaxed a 24-13 Los Angeles win. The Rams' experience and poise during the final quarter had paid off, and it is this poise mixed with spirited enthusiasm which has earned the Rams their last 2 victories, and it's a formula which may well earn them many, many more.
Sunshine and gentle breezes welcome the Rams to their home opener. The California lifestyle, relaxed and at times a bit unconventional, made game day a spectacle. In town were the Baltimore Colts, the second of 3 playoff teams on the Los Angeles schedule. The blue and gold defense, which would finish the season as the second best in the NFC, was mean and miserly. On offense, Lawrence McCutcheon streaked across the sun-drenched field for 2 touchdowns and a 24-13 Los Angeles victory. Throughout consecutive 1,000-yard season and helped keep the Rams' hat trick in the West always within reach. The year, McCutcheon attacked like a horseman galloping on an all-out cavalry charge. In San Diego in Week 4, the Chargers were fired up and breathing steam. For most of the game, the Ram offense was stymied, but they finally put one payoff drive together. Quarterback James Harris' score tied the game at 10 at the end of regulation time. In sudden death, Tom Dempsey watched anxiously as tight end Bob Klein rumbled downfield like a one-man barroom brawl. And then victory boomed off Dempsey's right leg, and the Rams' record stood at 3-1. The win was costly, however. Cornerback Al Clark was lost for the season. Eventually, 5 other regulars, Bob Klein, Jim Bertelsen, Larry Brooks, Charlie Stukes, and Bill Nelson, would also be lost.
Have you ever heard your favorite sports analyst knock a play because it looks like it came straight from the schoolyard? The Atlanta Falcons could have used this schoolyard play against a Ram team that foamed at the mouth and ate up their quarterbacks. Unfortunately, the Falcon playbook was too straight-laced, and their simple plays broke harmlessly against the rock-hard Ram defense. Los Angeles exacted a harsh toll on receivers that braved the middle. And rookie quarterback like Steve Bartkowski was cannon fodder for a big gun like Larry Brooks, number 90. 6 turnovers unraveled Atlanta's offense as the Rams pressured 3 fumbles, and their Johnny-on-the-spot secondary stole 3 Bartkowski passes. The robust Ram defense was again the team's mainstay as their scatter-shot offense managed few moments of true brilliance. Quarterback James Harris threw for 2 touchdowns. Tight end Bob Klein ran unmolested through the Falcons secondary for 1 score, and Harris rifled a second 6-pointer to Harold Jackson at the flag.
Nevertheless, against the Falcons, the spirit of the Rams took flight as the offense sauntered in for 22 points to Atlanta 7. Falcon quarterback Steve Bartkowski spent a day in Hard Times, USA, as a thundering rush and swarming secondary stole everything but his knee pads. The secondary was led throughout the season by canny Dave Elmendorf, number 42.
The Los Angeles Rams are the NFC's chosen team. Many people conceded a Super Bowl berth to the Rams because of their talent, depth, experience, and marshmallow soft schedule.
All to fill in for injured veterans. In the season's 6th week, the New Orleans Saints were in Los Angeles and found themselves on the downside of a 38-14 score. The Los Angeles defense swarmed like honeybees and stung like scorpions. Against New Orleans, the Rams defense aggressively sought out the ball. This alert aggressiveness was a trait that brought a 3rd straight division title ever closer throughout.
The Rams thrive on turnovers, and their heads-up defense ranks 1st in the NFC. The job of safety Bill Simpson, number 48, is made easier because of a front 4 that says, "Fee, fi, fo, fum. Watch out, cause here we come." While the rampaging defense rates an exclamation point, their offense is a question mark. Just when Jim Bertelson's 66-yard catch and carry seemed to spark the heretofore pedestrian grinded-out Ram offense, his touchdown was denied by a holding penalty. The Rams are winning, but to their critics, their victory seems sorely lacking in both artistry and explosion. But Los Angeles has a wealth of home run receivers like Ron Jesse, number 81, and an armada of running backs like 3rd stringer Rob Scribner. It might not be heaven, but it was enough to crush the Saints 38-14.
A strong safety with a penchant for contact. The deep defense was double danger because Elmendorf's running mate, Bill Simpson, number 48, in only his 2nd season, led the team with 6 interceptions, each of which made defensive backfield coach Jim Wagstaff's life a little sunnier. At left corner, Eddie McMillan made life a little rougher for would-be sweepers. while at right cornerback, first-year man Monty Jackson epitomized the talent and spirit of the young players who were called. McCutcheon's 911. Number 58, outside linebacker Isaiah Robertson. The high point of the season came in Philadelphia on a Monday night in Week 7. Robertson's interception and touchdown run covered 76 yards. And whatever signals defensive coordinator Ray Malavasi was calling that night, they were just right when number 90, Larry Brooks, forced Roman Gabriel to unload in panic, and number 89, Fred Dreyer, picked it off. Then the dam broke as James Harris connected with Jack Snow to put the game out of the Eagles' reach. Harris put the master strokes on a perfectly executed victory by hitting Harold Jackson for 2 touchdowns. The final score of 42-3 gave the win-streaking Rams a 6-1 record. And for the 3rd year in a row, it looked like the division crown was going to fit. Back home in Los Angeles in Week 8, the Rams ran into problems. Despite John Cappelletti's touchdown burst, the 49ers eked out a last-minute 24-23 win. It was the Rams' first loss to San Francisco in their last 11 meetings.
Coach Dick Nolan believes in beating a team at its strength, and this is precisely what he tried to do against the Rams. The Rams' strength is their running attack, the strongest in the National Conference. And in the first quarter, they blasted through Nolan's defensive line for 2 touchdowns and an early lead. But by the second quarter, Nolan had plugged up the holes in the center of his defense and forced the Rams to run to the outside, where their strong but mechanical runners are not as effective and easily gang tackled. On passing situations, the 49ers rarely blitzed or stunted, relying instead on the basic quickness of their defensive ends and their ability to run around the big but slow Ram blockers. On defense, Nolan's versatile tactics gradually proved successful, but on offense, his strategic options were severely limited. He could not make the Rams honor the running game because the 49er running game is not honorable. But what he did do was insert Steve Spurrier at quarterback instead of Norman Snead. Spurrier has played very little over the past few years, but he is younger than Snead and more adept at scrambling from a strong pass rush, which is the Rams' most consistent defensive strength. Spurrier began the game by probing the Rams' defense with a variety of quick look-ins and the usual safe sideline patterns to his wide receivers. By the second half, Spurrier's probing taps had become hammer blows, and the 49ers offense was now even more effective than its defense. After completing just 6 passes in the first half, Spurrier ripped the Rams with 13 completions for 230 yards and 3 touchdowns in the second half. 2 of the scoring throws went to Gene Washington, number 18. Pinching down their ends and blitzing their linebackers, the Rams converged on Spurrier like wolves on a hunt. But Spurrier defeated the rush by calling pass patterns that enabled him to release the ball quickly to his running backs. Inspired by Spurrier's performance, the entire 49er team responded with their first victory over the Rams in 5 years.
and earned for Coach Dick Nolan his biggest victory of the season.
Out for the season was number 90, defensive tackle Larry Brooks.
Last week in Atlanta, Ram quarterback James Harris, number 12, relied mainly on only one facet of his multifaceted attack, that being the newest addition to the starting offensive lineup, former Detroit Lion wide receiver Ron Jesse, number 81. The Rams paid for Jesse with a number 1 draft pick, and probably more. But James Harris and Coach Chuck Knox feel that he was more than worth the price. Ron Jesse enjoyed his best day ever with 10 catches for 151 yards. And his 10th catch resulted in the only Los Angeles touchdown of the game. While the Rams' second-ranked offense could score only 1 touchdown, their second-ranked defense gave up only 1 touchdown. But they got a lot of help from quarterback Pat Sullivan's Falcon receivers. One had to sympathize with Pat Sullivan, number 7, who was finally getting his big chance to swing a major upset. Chuck Knox was not sympathetic. "We were just blessed," he said. "I was happy to see them drop them." The Ram defense had been somewhat of a question mark, with tackle Larry Brooks gone for the season following knee surgery. But number 76, second-year man Cody Jones from San Jose State stepped in, and the Ram front foursome looked just about as fearsome as ever. While the Rams were winning their 7th in Atlanta.
In Atlanta in Week 9, the defense allowed only 7 points, but the man of the hour was number 81, wide receiver Ron Jesse, whose 10 catches riddled the Falcons for 16 points and win number 7.
The Chicago Bear offense is so bad that sometimes Bear quarterbacks can't believe what they see. Against the Los Angeles Rams' number 2 ranked defense, Chicago displayed its customary offensive consistency. In short, they couldn't run the football very well, and they didn't complete too many passes either, at least to the right people. Bill Simpson's interception illustrates what happens to an offense that's forced to throw too often. The Bears have tallied only 9 touchdowns and an embarrassing 97 points in 10 games. And ill fortune seems intent on keeping them under 100. Chicago's only encouragement was the performance of rookie quarterback Bob Avellini. Here he's connecting with Bo Rather for the Bears' first touchdown with 9 seconds left in the game. Unlike the Bears, the division-leading Rams boast one of the NFC's deepest and most versatile ground attacks. Fullback Lawrence McCutcheon runs with style, speed, and grace. On the other hand, former Heisman Trophy winner John Cappelletti favors a less subtle style of carrying the football. Like most of the NFL's consistent winners, the Rams throw the football only when they must. But when they do, James Harris and Harold Jackson have developed into one of the league's most productive combinations. The Rams' 38-10 humbling of the Bears was a classic example of a good team overwhelming a poor one.
In Week 10, when the Chicago Bears came marching into the Coliseum, they found the Protectors at their best. Even after a time lapse of 5 seconds, the the passing pocket remained intact. With that much time to launch, the missiles are always deadly. Lawrence McCutcheon and John Capoletti sliced through corridors of man-made daylight to seal a 38-10 win, which left offensive coordinator Ken Meyer feeling proud.
Under the canopy of the Detroit Lions' new home in Pontiac, Michigan, there was no brick wall to worry about, just a little leak in the roof. But it would take more than a waterfall to stop talented James Harris, number 12, and the relentless Los Angeles Rams running attack. It seems Harris' main job these days is to simply hand off to either Lawrence McCutcheon, number 30, or Jim Bertelsen, number 45, in an offense that's about as exciting as watching rain pour through the roof. The 4-yard slug is the Rams' favorite play, but for variety's sake, James Harris will occasionally contribute a 3-yard slug. It's no wonder, then, that when it comes time to pass, Harris seems a bit rusty. While playing well enough to win, the Los Angeles offense has hardly been overwhelming. One West Coast wag described the Ram game plan as 2 4-yard gains by Bertelsen and a 50-yard incompletion to Harold Jackson. On the other hand, Detroit's offense defies predictability. With former third-string quarterback country Joe Reed running the show, anything can happen. But the tough Los Angeles defense was not about to let things get out of control. Since taking over for injured quarterbacks Greg Landry and Bill Munson, Reed was on a 3-game winning streak, but the second-ranked defense in the NFC turned him back without a point. Embattled coach Rick Borzano watched Detroit playoff hopes grow dim as James Harris opened up just enough for an easy 20-0 win that clinched the NFC's Western Divisional title for Los Angeles. Detroit's loss clinched the Central Division title for Minnesota.
It rained in Detroit's indoor stadium, the only thing scout Jack Faulkner hadn't foreseen. But while the roof leaked, the Rams' defense didn't, because victory meant a division title. It was that kind of a game. And even the Los Angeles offense meted out a barrage of physical punishment. Especially pleasing to running back coach Elijah Pitts was Jim Bertelsen's all-around performance. Number 45 was the epitome of the complete ball player as he gouged out tough yardage on the ground and came right back as a receiver. The irrepressible Bertelsen also contributed to the excellence of the special teams. As if all this weren't enough, on this play, his alert blocking disrupted the safety blitz, helped put Harold Jackson in the end zone. Jackson's second score assured a 20-0 victory, brought the Rams' record to 9-2, but above all, helped clinch a third division title in a row. The hat trick was theirs.
Since moving into their incredible new gymnasium, the New Orleans Saints have won 2 games and lost 9. Last week they were facing the 9-2 Los Angeles Rams, and less than 40,000 showed up to see what the Saints could do against a team which has given up the fewest points in the league. The answer, as usual, was not much, but then the Rams couldn't do much either. In the entire first half, neither team could manage a touchdown or even a field goal. But at the half, the Rams led 2-0 because of this play. In the second half, Archie Manning managed one touchdown on a pass to number 27 running back Rod McNeil. But as has been the case for the past 5 weeks, one touchdown was a limit for New Orleans. The Rams offense managed none, despite some uncharacteristic trickery. The Rams did manage to score 14 points, but they came as a result of the first half safety, 2 field goals, a missed extra point, and one of the season's most unusual special team plays. Number 57 reserve linebacker Jim Peterson said afterwards, "I ran 3.5 miles for that one. For the last 20 yards, I felt like I had the whole world on my back. I toyed with the idea of lateraling, but I didn't find anybody until it was too late. What a way to win a ball game." The New Orleans Saints would agree wholeheartedly with that assessment. While the Rams were squeaking by in New Orleans,
Didn't rain indoors, but the tenacious Saints kept things interesting until this unusual play took place. The bounding ball was finally picked up by number 57, Jim Peterson, urged along by number 49, Rod Perry, who delivered a cataclysmic crackback block. Peterson lumbered 67 yards to give the Rams a narrow 14-7 win.
several of the more conscientious of the league's football experts then moved on from Dallas on Saturday to Los Angeles on Sunday, where they discovered all sorts of marvelous new things about the playoff-bound Rams. One thing that they discovered is that the Rams can continue to grind it out even without key people like Larry Brooks, Bob Klein, and Charlie Cowan. Last week, even the quarterback depth was tested as number 16 Ron Jaworski took over for stiff-shouldered James Harris. This safety by number 75 Dave Purifoy gave the Green Bay Packers an early edge. But Ron Jaworski came back to complete 14 of 24, and the Ram defense, which has allowed the fewest points in the entire NFL, turned the pressure on their former teammate John Hadl, number 21. Another example of Ram depth came when Jim Bertelsen was forced out for the season, and the league's top rushing team was led by number 33, third-year man Rob Scribner, who ran 12 times for 82 yards. Rams won 22-5 for their fifth consecutive late-season victory.
Late in the year, I think that's the most important time in a football team, assuming that you play decently in the first half of your season, let's say, that you play good football. Because as I've always felt that teams kind of have a tendency to play in streaks. They play real well for 5 or 6 games. As an example, I think Pittsburgh last year played just unbelievable football late in the year, and they weren't that impressive at certain times last season. And I think that's true of us. You know, we haven't been that outstanding at times. People wonder why, what's wrong with the Rams, but you're not going to beat people 35-6. You know, it's hard to put a duster on people. You don't knock them down and knock them out in our game. They're just too many good football players. But I do believe that we will play well late in the season. And that's what I really hope for. I would hate to have a team that goes wins 11 in a row, and then go in the playoffs and lose. You know, peak out. And I think that's important, not to peak out too early in the season.
Rob Scribner replaced an ailing Jim Bertelsen in a 22-5 victory over the Packers in Week 13. Scribner's gutty play was matched by come-through performances by youngsters Ron Jaworski, Doug France, and Rod Phillips, all of whom started for injured regulars when
Together, they've allowed fewer points than 11 entire teams. Thus, their season-ending showdown offered relaxed veterans a chance to reminisce on successful seasons. Serious shoulder injury. So, against the world champion Steelers, second-year pro Ron Jaworski generaled the Ram offense on one beautiful scoring drive and a grueling defensive struggle. Down where the yardage gets tough, Jaworski tallied the game's only touchdown. Jaworski's well-executed quarterback draw caught the Steelers napping and proved the margin of victory in a 10-3 Los Angeles win. True, the touchdown came against many of Pittsburgh's second-unit defenders, while Steeler quarterback Terry Bradshaw sat out the second half. Nonetheless, the Ram victory over Pittsburgh elevated Los Angeles into the playoff limelight. But a big question still clouded their postseason chances.
Foot. And hands in front of Mike Collier. Bounce back out onto the field. Now Collier picks it up and gets out to the 8-yard line. The ball takes a funny bounce now and then. Rick. Bradshaw out of trouble. Dumps it off and almost picked off Brent Dreyer. Rams have possession. They move from their own 29-yard line. Their quarterback, Ron Jaworski, going all the way. This is Cullen Bryant. And Bryant out to the 40-yard line, out to the 42-yard line.
A huge hole. A simply huge hole for Cullen Bryant.
Gillum and has to hurry. This will be picked off by McMillan. Turns all the way to the 30-yard line of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
An ill-advised throw, quite clearly, Alex.
Well, I think someone messed up on that pass pattern, Howard. He seems to be throwing to a spot on the football field, and whether or not he thinks a receiver's going to be there or not, I can't tell you, but there's absolutely nobody around him whatsoever.
No, he wasn't prepared to throw. He waffled the ball in the air. McMillan was the only man in the area.
And McMillan... intercepted Geddes, intended for Fuqua.
He's made two great plays in a row, Howard.
Good play fake by Jaworski. He fires it off, and it's complete. Complete downfield to Harold Jackson.
About watching Ron Jaworski, you're looking at Jackson there. The ball drilled in. He has a slingshot arm, Jaworski does.
And Jackson really helped him out. Stepped right back in front of Jack Ham. 10-yard line of the Steelers. Jaworski. Deflected. Knocked away. The Steelers, let's listen.
We have defensive holding on number 24 of Pittsburgh. It's a 5-yard penalty and automatic first down.
Rod Phillips, the single setback. Jaworski on the draw. He scores.
How do you like that? Look at that kid.
Well, I've seen that play before, and I think it started in Detroit in about 1965. Knox picked it up when he was assistant over there, and that's exactly what he did.
Out in front. 9:42 remaining in the fourth quarter. The Rams leading the Steelers 10-3. Third down. Bradshaw will go down. Freddie Dreyer, number 89. Perhaps the quickest defensive end in the game today. Jaworski. Good protection. Gets it off to Harold Jackson. It's good at the 32-yard line. On the playoffs. And more to be decided tomorrow. Jaworski wide open. Gets it out to Rod Phillips. Phillips struggles for the first down. Steelers. Finds a big hole and moves to the 14. Just about holding on to the football because they can pretty much put it away if they can get their field goal. Rob Scribner stacked up. Tried to sweep from the tight formation. Have a lot of faith in Dempsey's distance. They let him attempt one earlier from 57 yards. And of course, he is the NFL record holder at 63 yards. This from 34. The long count, hoping to draw the Steelers off sides. Blocked. J.T. Thomas, I believe, was the Ram who got the hand on it. Harrison is in there, number 46. Flag went down. The attempt is to Lynn Swan. But Frank Lewis, a wide receiver, I believe, had missed the count. Gillum, riflesman, into a crowd. Lynn Swan, the intended receiver. This is pretty. Rob Scribner. Scribner out to the 43-yard line. Football. Rod Phillips. Phillips out to midfield. He gets 6. It'll be 2nd down and 4. We've had a lot of friends and guests drop by the booth. Have Jaworski all the way at quarterback. Hands off to Scribner. Scribner driving for the first down. He'll be short. It'll be 3rd down and 1. They'll have the football game. They got it. Rob Scribner, who's had a fine night. And the Rams in running back trouble have come up with good performances for 33 Scribner, 39 Phillips. Ticking off 34 seconds. Cullen Bryant will hold on to the ball. It's been an interesting season. We've had some super football games, and we certainly hope you've enjoyed it around the country. The final score as the Los Angeles Rams upset the Pittsburgh Steelers 10-3. This is Frank Gifford along with Howard Cosell and Alex Karras saying so long from the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum in Los Angeles, California.
The fireworks and the world champion Pittsburgh Steelers hit town in the season's last week. Terry Bradshaw discovered how Pittsburgh opponents usually feel as the Rams' defensive line sacked quarterbacks all night long. Only Franco Harris proved effective, but when he got his team in close, the Rams shut them down. The game was tense and hard-fought right to the end when, with the score tied at 3, the Rams engineered a picture-perfect 12-play drive. While Coach Knox and Ron Jaworski, the Polish Rifle, decided on one crucial play, the world's greatest fans, 84,000 strong, expected something unusual, and they got it. With a 10-3 victory over the world champion Steelers, a 12-2 season, and a 3rd division title behind them, the Rams were now confident that in the playoffs, the Cardinals would be in trouble.
Los Angeles is Hollywood, and no matter what the gala event, the cameras always go to work, recording the legend of Tinseltown. Unlike most people who are usually lens shy, when Los Angelinos see one pointed at them, they light up and put on a show. Last week, Rams coach Chuck Knox didn't decide who his show's leading man would be until the singing of the national anthem. And then it was not James Harris, who had led the Rams for most of the season, who got the nod. Instead, Harris had to watch reserve quarterback Ron Jaworski, fondly known as the Polish Rifle, take the reins against the Cardinals. And when the cameras began to roll, so did Jaworski's team. On the first series of plays, the Rams drove 79 yards to a lead they'd never relinquish. On that series alone, number 30, Lawrence McCutcheon, picked up 51 yards. McCutcheon eventually finished the day with a playoff record 202 yards on a career-high 37 carries. But then Jaworski, who was born in Lackawanna, New York, heard those Hollywood cameras grinding, and he reacted like a long-time native to give Los Angeles a quick 7-0 lead. And then the Cardinals got to run one play before number 85, Jack Youngblood, ruined quarterback Jim Hart's day. Youngblood's 47-yard touchdown was the first of his career as a defensive end, and he finished it with an old crowd-pleasing custom. For Youngblood, the 47-yard jaunt was about 4 times as far as he normally has to go on an average play. But what sweet pain. Jim Hart dropped back and fired a pass that flew straight and unerring to Los Angeles free safety Bill Simpson, who brought the ball all the way in for a 21-0 Ram lead. For all intents and purposes, this play ended the game because the prospects of the formidable Los Angeles defense blowing a 3-touchdown lead were slim at best. A repeat of the play shows that pressure from Fred Dreyer forced Hart to unload into a well-covered zone, and after that it was eat and run. On the board, but lo and behold, kicker Jim Bakken missed the extra point. And on the first play after the kickoff, Ron Jaworski must have heard those cameras grinding again, because the Polish rifle whipped a bullet far down range to Harold Jackson. A repeat of the play makes it look easy. Jaworski barely seemed to give the ball a flick, and Hasty Harold eased under it wide open and gliding. At the Ram 11, it seemed Hart was wearing his Mitchum deodorant because he had all-day protection before he fired to Mel Gray to make it 28-16. And the voracious Rams kept coming up with them. Late in the fourth quarter, Bill Simpson's second theft closed the door on St. Louis. With Lawrence McCutcheon and Ron Jesse teaming up, the Rams roared in for their final score. repeat shows that, as it had been all afternoon, the blue and gold was in the right place at the right time. Throughout the game, the Los Angeles Rams had played with verve, emotion, finesse, and brute strength. When it was over, their emotion was spent, and they stood in small cocktail party groups, letting the glamour grabbers click away on players like Jaworski and McCutchen. While the heroes got the notoriety, the unsung heroes like the Rams' offensive line got the game ball to go along with their 35-23 victory and a berth at home in the NFC Championship against the Dallas Cowboys.
Is there any question? I mean, is there any question on who's going to win? Would I be dressed like this if there was a doubt in my mind as to who was going to win?
From the outset, Los Angeles domination was apparent. Lawrence McCutchen was in fluid drive all afternoon, flowing to his greatest day as a pro, 202 yards on 37 carries. Capping a perfect opening drive, the Polish rifle became the Polish Jeep, and the Rams led 7-0. By far the best was yet to come, and this is the way I called it for KMPC Radio.
Second down and 8. Back to throw is Hart. He's got 5 in the pattern. He throws. Intercepted by Youngblood. 45-40, 35-30. Jack Youngblood, 25-20, 15-10, 5. Touchdown! He's going to throw. He looks. He throws over the middle. Intercepted by Simpson. 35-40. Bill Simpson. 45-50. Has blockers. 45-40 down the sideline. 35-30. 25-20. 15-10, 5. Touchdown! Bill Simpson!
Hey, 4-2! Hey, maybe now they'll let somebody on that secondary make our back. Come here! Come on! Come on! Boy!
Get out here! Get out here! Fan that thing around here. The best in the league. Right here. Right here. Yeah. And there's only about 10 years experience between all of us.
That's right. I got half of those.
And he's got half of that.
Before they knew what hit them, the Cardinals trailed 21-0. But for the Rams defense, there would be no forgiving. The hunted wore white. The hunters were everywhere. When the defense was finished exploding hand grenades, the offense brought on the bomb.
Ron Jaworski, the starting quarterback for the Rams today, as McCutchen and Bryant split behind him. Jesse left, Jackson right. Jaworski, a play-action fake to McCutchen. He's going to throw long, and Jackson is open. He's got it at the 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown! Harold Jackson on the bomb.
I've seen that thing come out today. It's all over.
Where'd it go, man? Oh, that's the way to grab that baby.
Oh, hey, Ron, I knew it was over.
I thought it was going to come up. I said, it's all over.
It was over, man. That's all.
But unfortunately for the Cardinals, that wasn't all. A Ron Jaworski pass to tight end Terry Nelson had the Rams knocking again. And when you're hot, you're hot.
Jaworski under center spins. He gives it to McCutchen. He's up the middle at the 10. He's at the 5. He's hit hard. The ball loose. Fumble. Yes, he's got it. He's in the end zone for a touchdown. Rams 35, Cardinals 23. Oh, my.
Way to go, Ronnie J.
For the last 3 seasons, the Rams have proved to be the best in the NFC West. In 1975, they did it with a great offense and a defense that gave up the second lowest amount of points ever in a 14-game schedule. And they did it with a coach whose record equals the best in the NFL, 34 wins, 8 losses over the last 3 years. In 1975, the Rams counted on many players, young, old, starters, and replacements. The individual improvements and accomplishments were many. But when the 1975 season is remembered, it will be remembered for something the Los Angeles Rams accomplished as a team. '75 will stand as a symbol of a consistent winning attitude. The year the Los Angeles Rams completed the hat trick in the West.